I'm about 20 miles north of home in a lovely woodland, and I'm here on the last day before some new travel restrictions come in. So I'm taking this opportunity to go out with the county for the last time in I don't know how long. And although I'm dressed in all my camo gear, that's just in case I run into some wildlife. It's a good place for deer and black grouse here. But what I'm really here to do is try and photograph a tree. One particular tree. One that I think is certainly the strangest tree I've ever seen. And I have to say, I've no idea how I'm going to get good photos of it. But could be entertaining. So I'm going to carry on the path and check in with you in a little while. Well, if you've seen any of my other films, you might recognise this place. And I keep being drawn to that tree with a little bit of river showing in the background. The only problem is from here, you're going to get it cut by the skyline. So to get a good photo means that I have to go up there. I think I'll stick with the original plan for now, maybe come back. So here we are. The twisted pine. It's just ridiculous. So when it's fallen, instead of having a clean snap, it's kind of just uncurled. It's kind of just sprang around. I don't know if that's as it's hit other trees or, but it's just unfurled. Bizarre. So this is actually quite tricky, quite tricky. It's actually when you get into these situations when you know you found something that is special. I mean, there are some great photos to be taken here. It's just trying to work out how to do them, what's going to work, especially with this bit of snow coming in now. I mean, it's an absolute gift, but it's how you actually make this into something special, and it's difficult. The background looks good over there. That sort of angle's possibly very good, but I kind of want to show the branches as well, and the bank sloping away. The bank sloping away. So the further I get that way, the image is going to have to be from up here. Height is an issue. But it is just these shapes here. think I'm going to have to throw everything at this one. Try as much as I can. Today might not be the day that I get the image I'm happy with. But I'm going to try. Right, so I'll move back quite a bit. And the snow's coming down really quite hard now. Fortunately it's blowing away from the front of the camera, which is good, so I'm not getting snow on the lens. This is going to be unusual for me. I'm almost certain this is going to end up black and white, which I don't do many of. It's annoying there's that big tree stuck up in the middle, but to be fair, I think it's that that's probably caused the spinning, which has created the picture in the first place. So 2-second timer. Now everything's set to manual, and I'm gonna do a panoramic. Now this is one of the places that I'm really pleased that I've bought a new bit of kit, which I'll do a review of. It's this, which is a £40 self-leveling plate for doing panoramics. It's a newer one, as in newer the company, not newer as in I've recently bought it. And it's allowed me to get this nicely set up and level. Quite happy with that. I think it's going to end up being quite a dramatic black and white. I was talking to a lady in the shop this morning about this tree, and she says she always finds this place very spooky, which I must admit I don't find it spooky at all. I find it really sort of quite inviting, even though I'm being snowed on heavily. But yeah, I think this could end up being quite a spooky, dramatic black and white. I'm going to just do that again. But I'm going to go further across. It's getting a bit snowy. Having a bit of trouble here because this ground is very spongy, it's very heathery, and the tripod is struggling a little bit. So I've had to add my rucksack, and the rucksack is sort of moving a little bit, but what I've found is if I press down on it and hold, I get a very stable image. Right, I'm going to have a go at doing the focus stacked one. And sadly that means I'm going to have to put this camera down because I should have bought 2 tripods. So my biggest problem here is height. I really want to be higher up. And exposure, this is, I mean, it's a black and white image, whether I like it or not, this one, it's amazing. And so I'm now focusing just down here. So just to explain what I'm doing here, this is focus stacking. This is basically a rough explanation as to what it is. When you take a photo, there's only a certain proportion of that photo will be properly in focus. So anything closer will be blurred, anything further will be blurred. For example, if you take an image, it may be that the only things that are properly in focus are between, say, 2 and 3 meters. So what you can do is to take another picture where you change the focus so everything between 3 and 4 meters is in focus, and then between 4 and 5, and you create a series of images, each with a different part in focus. This can then be taken back to the computer back at home, and software like Photoshop, you can actually select the areas from each of the images that are in focus. You can then put them together to merge them into one photo where everything's in focus. which actually gives you an image that looks like what you actually saw in the film and gets over the limitations of photography. So this is a technique I'm starting to use. So just to explain what I'm doing here while I'm stood freezing with very cold hands taking lots of photos of the same thing. Okay, that's 4 pictures taken along the trunk. Right, well, I've been here quite a while and I've got to get over a high mountain pass and it's been snowing. So I'm going to hand over now to me in a nice warm office, dining room, and yeah, let's have a look at these images in Lightroom. Right, well that's me back in the warmth of a nice warm home. It was a wonderful day, very cold, bitterly cold, but again, it's winter in Scotland, it's what you expect, and to be honest, it's something I look forward to. I came away really with 3 photos from the day, and an add-on one on the way home. So this is the first one, this is the panoramic that I took, and really quite pleased with it. I like the muted colours, I like the way that the forest disappears into the background, and these sort of almost gruesome branches growing out of the fallen tree. This area is giving me problems because the snow was coming from this side, so this is actually the snowiest patch. There's a bit along the top you can see, but this had the most snow on it. It was also very silver, so if you combine the two, it tended to be just looking far too bright. So I've had to do some work to try and get some texture into here using the adjustment brush, but no, I'm happy with it. Now, I said on the day that I thought the black and white would work with this, and no, I don't like it with black and white. I prefer the colour. Certainly doesn't work with the dramatic black and white. This muted one's not too bad, but again, I prefer the colour. I think that's just the sort of photographer I am. So this is the focus stacked one, where I've focused here, probably about here, 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 and here, and then merged them into one image at the end. I do like it. I'm quite pleased with this image. I don't like this bit here where you can see the white of the sky and the white of the snow. I think that looks a bit weak, but overall quite happy with it. And I think this one works better than the last one as a black and white, but I still probably would keep it as a colour image. This is an image I took using a high dynamic range. So I took a series of images ranging from this one, where I exposed for the area at the back. It's bright, I mean this is white, but the sky was white. I mean there's no taking away from it, there's no point trying to pretend it's anything other than what it was. But this area here is just too dark, you can't see any of the detail, you can't see what's going on. So I took a range of exposures through to this one, where obviously this is just ridiculous, but here you've got the detail in the sort of cracks and crevices and in the shadows. Then when you use the HDR, it merges it together to give you this image. And yeah, this is one that I like. The last shot of the day was on the way back to the car on the way home, and I think I could do a bit more. The reason that I stopped was this larch, and these were just like fireworks, they were amazing. So you had this orange against the greens. These are the 2 massive pines. I mean this is a big tree, but these are huge. And the sort of slightly muted background with the sort of separation between these trees and the background because of the mist and the different light. So I like this image, cropped to square, just felt like it, to be honest. So I hope you've enjoyed that. As I say, I had to throw everything at this photo shoot of this tree. It's one that I'll go back to many times, I think, because I think there's better images there. It's sometimes nice when you know there's something better you can do. It can be quite hard when you kind of feel as though, yeah, I've done that now, I've got that subject. So I hope you enjoyed that. If you did, please like and subscribe, and keep an eye out for more of my films. Thank you for watching.